Hello, beautiful friends, and welcome to your weekly general oracle reading. This week we will be using cards from the Journey of Love deck. And this deck is really beautiful, focusing on the energy of love, the journey of love, whether that's self love, romantic love, love of friends and family, just love in general. It's really a big arena for many people and a focus area. And so this week, Spirit is calling me to pull from this deck for you guys. As always, I invite you to have your own intentions or just to seek for that dealer's choice spirit message, as it were. And to check in with your own intuition as you pull the cards, as you hear the meaning, symbolism of the cards, and just take what resonates with you. As this is general, it's not necessarily going to apply to everyone in all ways and shapes and forms. And so this is also part of you learning how to use your intuition and discernment as to what fits for you versus what doesn't. And I like to offer these just as a guidance for you to connect more with your intuition and take it from there yourselves. So I'm just going to see what Spirit has for us here today. Looks like this one, these two seem to be wanting to sneak out here. And we'll get one more. Oops, sorry about the little bump there, guys. And see, there we go. That is going to be the third one there, and the first one, and the middle one. And as we do each week with this, we have the 3 different cards, and we'll start on the left. Will be 1, 2, and 3. I will have timestamps below for you guys to select whichever one resonates most with you. I do also mention that if more than one resonates, feel free to listen to more than one. Sometimes the 3 cards do, as we have seen before if you've watched these in the past, that sometimes there is a story that gets created with that. So go ahead and allow your heart to guide you towards whichever card here is calling you in the most. It's always going to be the best to just go with the first thing that pops into your conscious awareness, as Spirit does guide us to these things pretty quickly when we are letting the mind step aside to let the heart and the intuition guide us. So we'll go ahead and start with that first card on the left today and see what we've got here. This one is reversed. I will flip it though so you could see it. So this one is showing the bride offers herself. So some really beautiful colors happening here, the greens and the reds, which are really strong symbols of the green being the heart chakra, which obviously is our center for love, and then the red, which is going to be our root chakra. And so within this particular card, I'm seeing and feeling the need for those of you that selected this, there's going to be some work potentially to do on your root and your heart chakra. That there's some link between those two that relates to love and feeling grounded in love, open to love. A lot of times what happens is we get into these spaces where we might want to love, but we're not necessarily healed and ready for that, or totally grounded in ourselves and in our relationship with our own self and self-love. And so this being sort of the bride offers herself, it's this energy of what are you offering yourself to? Are you offering yourself to yourself? Are you offering yourself and your love to the divine? Is there someone else in your life, romantic or friendship wise, that you are feeling called to offer love to? And so really reflecting at this time, where is love meant to be offered from you? And is it something that you're giving from a beautiful and a grounded place? Now, something else I'm also seeing with the number 43, which breaks down then to 7, is this is really related to spirituality and spiritual love. And so in that sense, I'm encouraging you to kind of check in to see, because it's feeling like the love that's really coming through the strongest on this one is love being offered to the divine. So sometimes what people will look at is like a marrying or a merging of oneself with the divine. And this is really strongly the energy that's coming through in this card, that it's time for you to offer yourself more fully for union with the divine, with source, whatever it is you call the universe, so that you can have that relationship be your primary relationship through which all love and all other experiences flow. And so I really encourage you guys to check in with that and how you want to offer that, how you want to create this relationship with the divine through love, through a really grounded and centered space. Now, with this particular deck, there's little poems that are included with each card, and I do feel called to read those today because I feel like there's always these extra nuggets that come from them that might apply more to your situation if the general read that I'm getting off of it from Spirit is a little different, perhaps. And so for this card, I'm just going to read, it's a few little statements here. So the poem that comes with this is, how careful we must be close, how fragile we must feel, how sad not to be when someone is real. To say approach with caution when we already know that inside there's a likeliness and experience goes slow. So I invite you to take those words. Maybe they resonate with you, maybe they don't, in whatever way or whatever aspects. Allow yourself to take those in and just see what that opens up for you. Sometimes I do find that they offer activations, and so I'm feeling called to include those for that reason. Also, one last nugget is just kind of looking at how she's opening out to the world. So her back's to us, but her heart is to all that lays before her. And that feels really important too. And again, if you're a guy watching this, the masculine and feminine energies can be interchangeable as well. So do know that even though it's bride, we can insert the groom offers himself as well. It's more just that energy of offering oneself up to the world, to the divine, to all that is in the universe. And so we'll go ahead and move to the second card here, and this is Her Grace. So this is a really beautiful card here. I'll bring it a little closer for you to take a peek. This one here is really just tapping into those deep blues, that throat chakra color, up into, you know, more of the indigos in the side over here and the white up to the crown. So this is more of a throat up through the crown chakra energy that's coming through on here. Also having that 17 breaking down to 8. We got that one, I think, last week as well, in terms of breaking down to the 8, which is that infinity, that infinite nature. And really tying that into grace. Grace is very infinite in nature. And I will say his or her grace in this case. And with this particular card, it's the energy moving through you, like a dance of grace between you and the world around you. Really coming back into that, speaking your truth, but doing so gracefully. There are so many ways that we can speak our truth, and I know sometimes we haven't always learned how to do that. And so this card is inviting you to really step into how can you speak your truth from a place of grace and gentleness and compassion. And you can see, I'm bringing it a little closer, that her eyes are closed. So she's in a very internal, intuitive space. And there's all this sort of energy moving around, almost getting a little bit of the essence of a sacred spiral coming through, which is also very symbolic of infinity and infinite wisdom. And so really allowing yourselves to tap into your infinite wisdom when you're speaking. And again, connecting with this, you know, journey of love that we have with this deck, speaking from a place of love. And if you don't know what that means, or you're not sure how to do that, then asking your divine to give you the ability to do that, or seeking out help from someone who can teach you how to do that. That is something that I work with people on, is with clients, helping teach them how to speak with love and kindness and compassion, because many people, if you didn't have parents that spoke to you that way or taught you how to do that, you might not know. And so I bring that up now because this is a time to really assess, how are you engaging with your voice? Are you speaking from a place of love or somewhere else? And if you're not speaking from a place of love, what do you need to learn, or what do you need to practice, so that everything that you do share, that you are putting forth into the world, is sort of like radiating out these like energies and circles and circuits of love. So I'm getting that vibe too, where she's, there's kind of these continuous circles coming out. So it's almost like this force field of beautiful love and energy emanating through with the voice. And that's what each of you have the capacity to do when you're doing so from a place of love and grace and connection with the divine. And so I invite you to reflect on that a little bit and see what is it that you need in order to be more graceful, in order to emanate more of that grace that you are into the world through all that you speak. And this card is also showing a little bit of movement, but in internal stillness at the same time, for really like tapping into that intuitive center in the third eye, and then allowing that energy to come down and connect with your throat, so that that's the place from which you can speak, when you really have that more internal heart-based connection with what it is that you do want to say and how it's going to be best received by those that you are meant to speak it to. And so that's the energy moving through that card. And then I will just pop in that little poem bit for this one and see what that has to say. So for this one, it says, I was born long before our time, and yet my time with you is something new. For you awaken in me a spirit that was longing for release, waiting for your touch. I thought I was safe to stay inside the boundaries and walls I carried with me. You touched all of me, and we walked together outside the lines. So really beautiful movement of expanding beyond what you have known to be your truth or your voice. Now is time to expand beyond that in grace with the divine energy. So we'll go ahead and move to the third card here, which is soft. So let you guys take a look. And some of these are really more just symbolic in nature, more color, more energy. And this one is particularly beautiful, kind of tapping in again with the greens for them, some of the heart chakra, but then a lot of yellow, which is that beautiful solar plexus energy, that house of personal power. And this beautiful gold orb here is just really calling out to me right away that it's like time to expand your connection and your love for your own self and your own personal power, because it is so hugely important in our journey of growth and development to be able to stand in our power. It's not just about speaking our truth. A lot of times we do need to be able to stand in our power first before we can speak our truth. And so with that being said, this feels like a time where it's about anchoring your heart and your solar plexus together so that you're standing in the power of love in all that you do. And beautifully, this one being 47 breaks down to 11, which is a number we don't break down because that is a master number, and it's also a number associated strongly with the ascended masters. And so at this time, I'm getting the very strong message that the ascended masters want to help you with your journey of self-love, with your journey of activating your personal power and being able to stand in that more fully and firmly, but with a softness. So there's a certain softness and gentleness. Power isn't necessarily about this gruff, hard, rough energy. Like that might be what we see when it's more masculine in nature. And this is really speaking more to the softness of that feminine energy, that divine feminine mother of all creation that has that ability to create everything and yet is retaining this softness and this gentleness, this gracefulness that's just so beautiful and tender. And I'm even feeling that with these movements off here. There's just so many soft edges and gentleness. And so as you are learning how to step into your personal power more, because it is something that we do need to learn and practice. It isn't always something that we're just like super awesome right out of the gate at. So this is also speaking to being soft and gentle with yourselves as you're learning and growing in this process, because it can be challenging sometimes to learn how to stand in your power and how to continue to do that even when outside forces might be trying to convince you to do something else, or trying to, swage your opinion or just your decision. And so this can be something you might be facing on some level as well, like really standing in your power, even if the people around you don't necessarily understand or agree or know how to support it even. They might want to, but they might not know how to. And so this is where it's really coming into that unity with your heart and your solar plexus, and then calling on the energy of the divine, on the energy of the ascended masters, to help anchor you into a space where you can do that more freely and fluidly from a place of love for yourself and flexibility for yourself if you don't totally know how to do it, like, your version of perfect right out of the gate, okay? So really being soft and gentle with yourself as you're learning how to stand more fully in your truth and in your power. And we'll go ahead and just go into the little poem here for this particular one, which says, "You are the softness he or she desires. You help light his or her way. You nurture all that they hold dear. Though tempest clouds dismay, and in the quiet of the storm, their gentleness comes through, and in the shelter of their arms, their heart is there for you." So really feeling into that love that is always there for you, that love that does increase as you stand in your power. You will start to find that the more you stand in your power and your truth, the more you will feel love for yourself, the more people will feel love for you and respect for you, because you are emanating that which you are. You are being yourself. And that is one of the most powerful energy signatures that we can put out, especially when we do so from a place of love. And so this is a really, really beautiful card as well. A very beautiful spread today, really mostly working obviously with the heart chakras, and then speaking our truth, standing in our powers. I know these are resonant themes that we keep getting, and there's a reason that we keep getting these, because it is really the most important energies that are flowing through right now. And so I feel like Spirit's going to keep repeating it for all of us until we're really solid in our stance and our connection with that. So I hope you guys found this week's reading helpful, and I really look forward to continuing this with all of you. If you have any questions or feel called to share anything, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'm sending much love and light to all of you, and we'll connect next week. Thank you so much. Love to you all. Bye-bye.